Welcome to Sports Rapp Live, everybody, from Junction Bar and Grill in the shadow of downtown Houston, Texas. I think we got a lively bunch here tonight at Junction Bar and Grill. You guys should come down here and see us and see what we got on the TVs, because we got 42 screens of live sports action and the Trilla Sports Talk on air. Make sure you guys check us out on Sports Talk 790 and iHeartRadio, which now has access to over 10 million listeners.
Say what?
Oh, you heard me, Tito. You heard what I said.
Man.
If you guys want to get in on any of the action tonight, you can do so by calling the Ghost Pepper Silverleaf hotline at 713-212-5790 as we take you around the world of sports, sounds, and sneakers.
And
Kadoma?
it is extra hot tonight. We got Amanda Davis working the board.
We got absolutely. So
Rat Pack
hey,
wants to call in.
let's get those phone lines blazing tonight, and she will be happy to get you through to us. You never know who's going to call in. Hey, the executive producer, the Trill OG, is not here with us tonight. That's because he's out there on the road officially on the Gumball Rally.
Vroom, vroom.
Man, we got it in Sunday night, Tito, with some of your friends. Absolutely. Get out the way. Here comes the bus.
Yes, we did. We sure did last Sunday. We had a great audience in the house. Baker Tuning was definitely in the house, showing off their whips, which in translation means my vehicle that I go around with. So, shout out to Bundy.
You're riding around it.
Oh, yeah, man. Bun's in New York. They just stickered up the cars. Who knows where they're heading now, but you can follow him on Twitter at BunBTrillOG. And he's also taking pictures on his Instagram at TrillOG, so you can follow his route from New York to Los Angeles in just a few days here and see all the behind-the-scenes action on Twitter or on Instagram.
Doma, why don't you give out our Twitter and Instagram right here on Sports Rapp Live?
Oh, well, we're at Sports Rapp Live. That's rap with 2 P's. You can hit me at Kadoma. You can hit the other counterpart, Martinez, at Martinez, and, of course, Tito the DJ.
Well, you guys know Sports Rapp Live is brought to you by Diamond Supply Co. and DiamondSupplyCo.com, where the brand new summer collection is available now. Summer 2 is right on its way, so get those tanks and tees right now before it gets too hot. Kadoma and I will be broadcasting next Sunday. Shout out to Youssef and the rest of the guys there on 451 North Fairfax in West Hollywood. We'll be out there next Sunday night as Tito and Andrew hold it down as always right here at Junction. We're coast to coast, from that third coast to that west coast, baby.
Won't be the first time we've done it before.
Absolutely not. Hey, we run it.
Hey, you go out to, it's a satellite show. You've been out in Vegas before, you'll be out in L.A.
We've all been out doing our own show.
Orlando, New Orleans, like we're covering ground,
I've certainly
man,
been out in Vegas doing shows.
Yeah, he's going to be a J-Web frequent flyer this year as you're taking 3 trips to Vegas.
3 trips to Vegas this year, 2 trips to New Orleans. I'm going back to New Orleans next month to reclaim whatever we left behind.
Hey, hold on here. You're going back to Vegas? I think I need to roll with Andrew Martinez to
I
Vegas.
think we all need to roll.
Red hot
Oh, when I roll to Vegas, trust me, we come back with more winnings.
Well,
look, we did losings.
I know. You've been calling it here on the show pretty much for the entire year, ever since March Madness. You won the...
Well, I feel like I've been calling it since the NFL season started up last year.
I think he's been calling it since he came out of his mama's womb.
Wow.
He told his mom what the spread was.
Well, even before whenever...
Oh, hold up. I'm not even touching that one.
Even before whenever I show up...
That's self-explanatory.
I'm just going back old school, but
Wow.
even before I was even on the show officially, the Cam Newton, I claimed him as the Heisman Trophy winner that season, the second game. I think that was the first before I even got in the show.
Many moons ago.
Many moons ago.
Hey, but you know what you always do? You keep your eye on the diamond,
That's
Andrew,
right.
just like we will be a diamond next week. And, hey, baseball fans out there, if you have not heard, you're just tuning in for the first time, and you have not heard Andrew Martinez break down baseball, even PD, B. Erickson, said he was excited to talk about these Astros today as we went and saw him. So I want to ask you guys out there, and, of course, you can call in and chime in, but I'm going to ask Andrew, first and foremost, 500. What does 500 become to you? What is the meaning of 500?
Well, for some teams, it's every year if you're the Yankees, it's making the playoffs. It's not about if you're going to make them. It's about, are you going to win a World Series? I think this year for the Astros,
for
it's
$3
about...
billion, you can buy
Yeah,
it.
but I think this year with the Astros team, if they can get to 500, that would be the ultimate goal. That would be the ultimate goal. It would show a sign of progress within the new management, within the new way of thinking. Jeff Luhnow, we already talked about the owner earlier this season, but the new developments within the team. I think Altuve, it's spread throughout the team. This team is starting to get infectious, Adam, as to their spirit. And the fans haven't been showing up yet, but they need to, because I think we showed we talked about this past weekend with the Rangers showing up. With this new sweep that we just had over the Cubs, it should wake a lot of Astros fans up to show that, hey, you know what? A team like the Tigers, who was pretty much, even said that they were the hands-down favorite to win the division.
Overrated. Boom, 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 boom. Overrated.
Astros have a better record than them.
Just ask the Cleveland Indians, who we're going to talk about tonight when we get into some of B's weekly cues. He is back and better than ever, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey,
so
he's wired up.
Oh, we always are here on Thursday nights. You know how we get it in.
No, OG Rat Pack Brett is wired up early.
We got OG Rat Pack Ben and Scott out on the patio, which always means Andrew's going to be in a great mood. So, hey, we're getting it in tonight. Hey, what else do you want to talk about tonight in baseball, Andrew?
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the All-Star game is coming up soon. I want to talk about Jose Altuve and fans getting behind him. I also want to talk about just around the league and what's going on. There's a lot of things that are going on within the other divisions. We need to talk about the Orioles. I mean, do we really need to start taking them seriously? The Indians, do we really need to start taking them seriously? You know, we'll talk about that.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Cardinals, too. Cardinals continue to roll.
Well, and I want to bring up the Reds. The Reds are a team that I picked before the season started on our preview show, as I picked them to win the division. Right now, they're tied with St. Louis, and prelude, they might be moving up my power rankings on Sunday.
Okay, well, the Astros, they're right there in the mix. They're 3 or 4 games out. This is how close this crappy NL Central division is. I'll just say it. It's a crappy division.
I will say the NL is very down this year, but it's very terrible this year as far as the offenses that are going on the NL. But you know what? The Astros are taking advantage. They're taking full advantage, and we're going to get into all that and more.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, all the baseball action you can handle. Speaking of all that action, we have plenty of it tonight as the NBA playoffs literally heat up in a Game 6. Back in Indiana against the Pacers, the Heat find themselves with a chance to close out, but as expectedly come out slow and now are making a charge as we get to that.
Close-out games in LeBron. We know how that's gone in the past.
Let's see what he does tonight.
We will definitely have something to talk about when we get to the NBA segment in a minute.
Absolutely, but it's funny because as I'm writing show notes, I was looking at our notes from last Thursday and how things change in a week, literally. Last week we were like, oh my God, Indiana is going to win this series. It's over. What's going to happen? They're going to blow this team up.
Scott
and now,
he was bringing up a great point. Game 4 was really the turning point in this series because they could have taken a 3-1 lead, but now it's 3-2 in favor of Miami.
Look, even Captain America's suit gets torn every once in a while, but he never wins. I mean, he never loses that fight. So I think that they took their licks. You know, they got to power through it. They cannot lose to Indiana this year. They cannot.
You know what I think?
This team would go down as one of the biggest flops and biggest jokes.
Adam, that might be the ultimate blow to an MVP campaign that LeBron's had yet, is to lose in the second round to an inferior Indiana team.
But look, what happens? The Avengers, they all come together. They were not all good guys. If you guys know anything about the Avengers, X-Men, they were not all happy-go-lucky pretty boys that came together for a good cause. You had some seedy people that came together and won it.
Are you admitting that you're a comic nerd?
I know my comic books, absolutely, and I look at these guys as superheroes for what they do.
We're not going to get into political talk about comic books this week because there was some political stuff that came out this week about the comic books.
Really?
Yeah. Well, and you know what? We'll talk about it in the break. And guess what? If you want to hear that, you should have been here to hear about it in the break.
Thank you very much. Some of the best programming here on Sports Rapp Live goes on during the breaks as some of us jump through the portal. Other people like to go outside and enjoy the weather here on the patio. And others talk about comic books and wrestling during the break. So, it's a little something for everybody here at Junction Bar and Grill. But you know what? These guys came to the rescue, okay? They put Miami in a position now to close out the series. They can go back there and close out the series. I think they're going to take care of business tonight, and it's over. It really is.
Well, the Cavalry is going to come in the next series if they make it that far, and that's in Chris Bosh. Which it sounds funny to say Cavalry and Chris Bosh, you know, him being the savior, but you know what?
We'll talk about that later in the rap sheet, Andrew. When we open up the rap sheet after the first break, I want to talk about that. What's the importance of him? What have we seen from his absence? What are we going to see tonight? Now we'll look at it. First half, highlights, but what does it mean when they are down Haslam now? And not that Dexter Pittman means something, but if Turioff goes down with an ankle, LeBron's playing center.
We definitely need to talk about the physicality of the Eastern Conference playoffs for sure.
Absolutely. Hey, we got to talk about the Wild Wild West that's not so LeBron's looking at you. He's looking at you. Yep. Hey, he's going to roll with us until he's out of the playoffs.
We'll see about that.
Okay. because I roll with superheroes
Where's
personally.
Miss Texas? Where's Miss Texas? That's all I want to look at. I want to look at LeBron.
Speaking of Miss Texas, I'm so glad you brought her up. Miss Brittany Booker is going to be in Las Vegas next weekend at the same time as Gumball, preparing for the Miss USA competition. She's already there. She's already preparing now. But we're going to make sure that we send our regards to her. Turn it back towards the camera.
I am.
So the good people out there can see. We've had it up since she was here on our show for the Lombardi Trophy presentation. So she's going to ride with us until Miss USA.
I need to get a drop from Miss Texas.
I need to get a drop
for
Miss
sure.
We need to go drop an AC in the Sports Rap Lounge
Hey,
tonight.
yo-yo.
Thursdays
on the
apparently
AC
tonight.
today.
Well, hey, we'll talk about the West. It's kind of quiet on the Western Front right now. It's not so wild anymore.
Well, it's the quiet before the storm. It's the calm before the storm.
You know when the storm begins? Sunday night on Sports Rap Live from Junction Bar and Grill. Spurs versus Thunder. Midwest Riverwalk battle. It's going down, man. We'll see what happens.
Versus the old sheriff.
So is it rust? Is it rest? That's the question. That's my question, Tito. Rust or rest? That's got to be. I mean, 1 and 2 seeds.
I think we saw that with San Antonio. San Antonio,
aside
they
from
look to me like Adam, like a team of destiny.
It could be. It absolutely could be. But you got to knock off these young Thunder, these hungry Thunder. We're going to talk about it and much more in the rap sheet. Hey, there's no question who we know who runs the court when it comes to the H-Town Sneaker Summit. That's Kadoma. You've already heard him talking some NBA basketball. Of course, he is all things sports, sounds, and sneakers, just like the rest of us here on Sports Rap Live. And the H-Town Sneaker Summit is going down Sunday, July 29th at Reliance Center. And I guarantee you, every time, it's going to be the biggest and best one yet. And tonight we have Sneak of the Week number 145 with some honorable mentions. We got Tito's new canoes. Next time it floods, he can cruise down Buffalo Bayou. Him and his lady friend, just, hey, a Sunday afternoon.
Pairs,
Absolutely.
Isn't hers?
Absolutely.
Those not a gallon. I bet a quart of milk could fit in that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
These are what you call panty droppers right here.
Ooh. Man. All right. Well, Kadoma's going to be dropping panties for his segments coming up later at 9:15. So, ladies, if you're
Dropping
tuned
socks
in,
at least.
if you're tuned in, yeah, make sure you listen to Kadoma very closely. Put your ear up to the speaker. We're going to get into that. NFL Nuggets. We're going to do some NHL quick hits tonight. I think we got to get people
and college football. I have insider information about college football expansion tonight.
Insider information. Here it comes. Here it comes. With that tonight. And much, much more. Plus a bad rap. We still got to get a bad rap at the end of the night. And a shout out to a lovely lady who has put up with me now for a decade. All that to come later on, right here on Sports Rap Live.
Wait a minute.